Hello and welcome to it's the US Traitors, so we have to do a Traitors.
We don't have to.
Yes, we do.
We just choose to.
It's part of the law. The agreement we took up with Alan Cumming. Welcome to Faithful to the Traitors, where we are, if you can guess it, discussing Series 3 of the Traitors US.
Yes. Episode 1 of who knows?
Many
to come. Yes.
And welcome to the binge.
Yeah, we were going to say that you're listening to this one, then you'll probably see that all five, that makes it sound like there's only 5 episodes, but there are more to come, are already out for you to be delighted with, because we are binging the US series ourselves. So very exciting times. And so I guess if you're listening to this from the UK, you're now watching it on BBC iPlayer. The first time it's been released on the same kind of schedule as America. If you're listening to us from America, howdy doody boys.
And girls.
And girls.
And theys and thems.
And, of course, and the gays and the theys. And you're watching it on Peacock.
All right. Very official of you.
I just thought...
There's peacocks in the castle.
There are. Some have them stuffed at home.
Yeah, Dorina, she has a stuffed one. Bob just likes looking at them.
Bob likes peacocks because they're beautiful birds. With their big flurry of feathers. So the reason we mention that this is a bit of a binge is because we always say at the top of the show that you can get in touch with us. However, you might want to get in touch with us after you've listened to the 5 episodes, because then you can give us your roundup of how you're feeling about the US series so far. You can find us on email, faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com. If you're watching us on YouTube by searching Faithful to the Traitors, you can click like, ring the bell and follow and subscribe. And you can also comment underneath the video as you watch it. You can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps. As before, just don't forget to subscribe. And you can find us on X @Traitors Podcast, on Instagram @Faithful to the Traitors. And if you enjoy the podcast and you've shared us with your friends and you've put us on your social media, you can also help us monetarily by going to buymeacoffee.com/faithful.
That's right. And you get a guaranteed message read out.
And yes,
no matter what you want to say,
within reason, don't make it, political, or just make it about the show, basically.
And if you have sent one, you'll probably get it read out on episode 6 onwards. Okay.
Also
Even if
true.
you sent us one on the final of the UK, you get it read out on episode 6 of the US.
Yes, that's a good point. That's also a good point.
You will get your message read out, but it'll just be on a delay because we're binging ourselves.
Exactly. So everything's kind of aligning itself, and we're just trying to find us. We're trying to find ourselves.
So we have 20 odd names to remember. I'm going to put it out there already. Like this year, there are 4 men that look the same to me, and I can't tell them apart. Especially Wells and Tom. Especially, they are the same person.
Wells, Tom, and Sam.
Yes,
I'm saying it. They are the same person.
And even Dylan sometimes. Dylan's hair looks like Wells' hair sometimes.
Dylan doesn't. Although I'm still confused by his fame being Zac Efron's brother. But now they
and down to earth
when they whatever that is. So they keep showing shots of him, and I can see Zac Efron in him. Obviously, it's Zac Efron's nice.
Zac Efron's eyes.
He's got his eyes. Yeah, there's kind of like but yeah, I know what you're saying. There's a real similarity between 3 of the guys this year.
And obviously the Traitors US is a bit different. It is all celebrities. Some of them know each other, some of them don't. Some of them are on Bravo contracts, some of them aren't. We are in the UK. We don't watch any Housewife series. Not in the US, not Dubai, not New York, America, none of them. We don't know any Housewives.
There's a UK series, Cheshire.
Yeah. We don't watch Big Brother US. We don't watch Survivor US. Drag Race, I know Bob the Drag Queen.
I think you'd be...
And I know Bob, the personal trainer, from my favourite show, The Biggest Loser.
We did have an obsession with The Biggest Loser, didn't we?
I was very obsessed with
We were obsessed.
Terrible show, but...
Terrible morals, but we watched it like it
only
was...
podcast were around then.
Oh, my goodness.
There could have been some crackers.
Don't give up. Never give in. Do it. It's something we regularly still say, and that's from The Biggest Loser. What was the other one? Who was the elderly woman? Anna, that's it. She hated her coach.
That tennis woman.
Yeah.
I don't know who she was.
Anna.
So we know the 2 Bobs. I know Dylan because he's Zac Efron's brother. That's it. I don't know Ivor, the British royal, who apparently has a big thing where he married a man. No idea that happened.
No.
Never heard
We're
of him.
from the UK. Now, if he starts mouthing off saying like, I'm a big deal in the UK because I'm part of the royal family, I'm the second cousin of the king, it's bollocks. We don't know who he is.
Never heard of him.
Well, I had to Google him, and I found like a little article that was in like a bit newspaper. Not one of the main newspapers like The Independent or The Sun or The Mirror. It was like The Record or something like that. And I No.
So to us, this is just a civilian version of the
Yes.
Traitors with people who seem to be very high up.
Which is fine by us, which is fine.
fine.
The only thing we always have a bone of contention is that they always go on about wanting to win the $250,000, but they all get paid to do it. And at the same time, they should give their winnings to charity.
And some of them
That's
get
just
paid
us.
more than $250,000 to be on the show.
be on the
And it's
show.
like, well, what's the point in this?
Oh, the only thing
But
I
here
can
we
think
are.
of is that the longer they stay on, it's a bit like a
The more they
strictly
get.
a strictly contract or Dancing with the Stars contract. The longer you're on the show, the more money you get.
Possibly.
So
I do feel when I was watching this, like when they were all lining up outside the manor and there was like they were all talking to each other, it did feel a bit like, you know how the Marvel universe has so many movies now and they're all linked together, and
Yes.
there's like an end scene here and then there's a character here, and this that's what the Traitors feels like. If you don't watch Survivor, Big Brother, House, you are kind of lost in the lore of this, because it's like, who is it? Danielle has a rivalry with
Brittany because
Brittany.
she backstabbed her and Big Brother, and Carolyn has a rivalry with Tony because she backstabbed. No, Tony backstabbed her, and sorry, Brittany backstabbed Danielle. It's the other way around because
and Jeremy is also scared of Tony from Survivor, and it's just. And then Rob turned up and took his hood off, and they were like, he's from Survivor. He's like, it's like, sorry?
Yeah, Boston Rob. And we were like, ooh, Boston Rob.
It's like they did this big reveal that took 10 minutes, and it was like him, and it was like, and you're giving us nothing.
Boston Rob, it sounds like a reveal from a new sandwich from Subway. For me, anyway.
Sounds tasty.
Yum, yum. I would have like some Rob in my mouth. But, so yeah, according to all the players in the game, Boston Rob is a dangerous player and he shouldn't be meddled with.
Which means nothing on the show, let's be honest. It just doesn't do anything.
This is the interesting thing. Sorry, I'm just looking at what you're looking at. The interesting thing is that they used the previous history not just as kind of like a talking point for the talking head parts, but they actually used it as part of the game at the beginning of this series. Again, meant nothing to us, but it was quite interesting, I felt. So it kind of gave Carolyn or Danielle, because ultimately that's who they focused on, an opportunity to kind of backstab back, you know, some unfinished history between them and their counterparts on their reality shows to get Boston Rob in. But Boston Rob was seen as such a terrifying character
You're going to call him Boston Rob the whole series?
I am going to call him Boston Rob the whole series because there's Boston Rob, Bob, and Bob. So we're going to have to call Bob the drag queen from this moment onwards, by the way. I'm going to call him Bob
the drag queen.
The drag queen, I guess, yeah. And Bob
makes sense. That's
what
his
about
name.
Bob from Biggest Loser? Just Bob.
Just Bob.
Bob Biggest Loser.
Yeah, biggest Bob.
The biggest Bob.
And Rob.
And Rob. Boston Rob.
And Sam, Tom and Wales.
And Tom and Bob.
Oh, yeah.
And Ivor, the engine. So that's a British joke as well. That's a kids show from the 60s.
So yeah, they were the first task was they had to choose if they wanted Rob to come back in, but if someone did shake Alan's hand, they then had to choose someone to go.
Yes,
so,
hence why that history from when they came onto the show would be
lots of temptation.
It was a temptation for them to swap
but
them
not
around.
really, because Rob was known as like a really ruthless, cold throat player. So everyone was like, well, there's no point bringing you in basically because you're a ruthless, cold-hearted player. So we might as well stick with what we got.
Carolyn came close though. She had ants in her pants. She kept looking around. She's, jumping from one foot to the next.
I feel she is going to be a source of entertainment because she's very all over the place. She reminds me of a mix of Courtney Love, mixed with Amy Winehouse, mixed with Ashley Simpson, Jessica Simpson's sister. She's like a weird mix of that, and it's just like
two druggies and a Disney Channel princess.
Yeah, she's just very scatty. So
Carolyn's cool. I like Carolyn. Was she from Big Brother?
Mm-hmm.
No, she's from Survivor.
Survivor, yeah. And I love Chanel. Her sound bites are going to be funny. She was telling Bob, she was throwing grapes into Bob's mouth, and she said, "Well, I'm sure you've had bigger in your mouth before."
Yeah, she knows.
And she's a Dubai housewife, so
I know, dirty Gertie.
So she's going there. So there you go. So yeah, we've met all the cast. They said no to Rob.
Yeah, Rob got booted out, but there was a kind of there was a little wink to say but you've not seen the last of him yet.
Actions have consequences, everyone.
Actions have consequences. It did annoy me that he moaned that he wasn't going in because of his reputation, despite him making his reputation the reason why he should go in. He was like, "I'll get all of you and I'll murder you all." And funnily enough, then they didn't want him to play the game with them.
Funny that. So anyway, that's that for him. He's obviously going to come back the next episode. So
we'll talk about the end twist, which has already happened in the UK version in a moment, but in a different way. We had a train. They didn't.
We did.
No train for them.
No. They're too high celebrities.
Ivor was very upset.
So we had the round table as well once they've met each other, because there's no point in them meeting each other before because they're all nothing yet. The game hasn't started.
The game hasn't started, so there's no suspicions to be had.
Although they do that still for some reason sometimes.
Not the American version this time. They were having a nice little jovial time. I actually liked it. It was nice seeing them all kind of interact with one another. There was no kind of accusations being thrown out. I mean, as you say, as soon as the round table had ended and the 3 traitors had been chosen, the accusations literally started the moment the blindfolds came off. By Tom mainly. But yes, the 3 traitors were chosen.
So we had Danielle, who is the Big Brother one, who has a rival with Brittany.
Yeah.
Nice coincidence there. Carolyn, the Survivor one, who / Courtney Love, has her rivalry with Tony.
Yeah.
And then Bob the Drag Queen, who's a gay contestant who's a drag queen. So make sure that they don't get voted out episode 1. They made him a traitor.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it happens too often.
Always kill the gays off at the beginning,
So,
don't they?
you know,
but there is a lesbian as well.
That's
And
true.
lesbians normally are the ones who die. As we know in scripted drama, if a character's going to die, it's always going to be a lesbian. So, I don't hold out a lot of hope
good
for her.
traitors, I think. I think they're good. The blindfolds came off.
I agree.
Carolyn immediately glugged a whole glass of water.
Yes, I like that.
She's thirsty. No one seemed to mention it.
No one noticed it. Or if they did, then no one said anything about
Everyone's
it.
saying she's really scatty and acting weird, but that's just her, so that's normal.
Yeah.
So her acting weird and traitorous is normal to everyone.
Fine by them.
Because I think Jeremy was the one who knows her, and he was like, "Oh no, she's not a traitor. She's always like that."
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? Because who was it who said it? The two Bobs mentioned it. So it was Bob and Bob. And they said that they were, funnily enough, one of them being a traitor themselves, said that they were suspicious of Carolyn. And Jeremy pointed out and said, oh, no, I've done a series of Survivor with her. She's too transparent. You'll spot it immediately if she is a traitor. So good for Carolyn.
Yeah.
I thought,
She did well. She
nice
did
one,
well.
Carolyn.
So the traitors have been picked. So that means, as we always do in episode 1 of Faithful to the Traitors, we do have
What's your name and where do you come from?
our fact file.
Oh,
We
yes.
always do the traitors. So first up, Danielle. This is where we can learn who they are, you see, because we'd have no idea.
Where did you get your source from, by
This
the way?
is from the independent.co.uk.
Yes.
So
Which you
expect
always...
highbrow
Well,
journalism.
you say highbrow journalism, lots of grammatical errors.
Oh yeah,
That's what
it's
you
a
normally say.
it's a low down on their list. There's just a list of traitor contestants.
It's just something they get out just to get a few clicks, isn't it? Yeah.
by me. So one of the earlier Big Brother contestants. Why do they always do their surname? Danielle, 52, competed in the show's 3rd series, where she's ended up in 2nd place.
You were trying to say season and series at the
Season,
same
yeah.
time, so you went sheesh.
Season. She later returned to compete on Big Brother All Stars Season 7, where
Goodness.
she immediately became a target for her impressive strategic skills. She's also appeared on Big Brother Reindeer Games. What the hell's that?
No idea.
Is that a Christmas special?
Do you reckon it was a Christmas one-off when they had
Go
them
off
in
over.
like the house for like a weekend?
for a week over Christmas?
Yeah, that's it. You're not going to see your family this Christmas.
So there you go. There's the right. Bob the Drag Queen then.
I just want to add that I like Carolyn a lot. Danielle, sorry. I like Danielle a lot, and I think she's going to be a really good traitor,
good.
especially when she was on the pontoon with Bob as well. that was a good
You
moment.
couldn't write it. Could
No,
you?
you could not.
So Bob the Drag Queen, 38 years old. His name's Christopher, best known as their drag name, Bob the Drag Queen, was the winner of Series 8 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, a time to be alive, eh?
What a day. They are also a comedian, actor, activist, and a musician.
I feel like they've phoned in this fact file. Because we've had fact files in the past when they've had about
Quotes.
20 paragraphs, quotes from the contestants.
The fact file could change from episode 2 onwards.
Ooh.
Who knows if I can find another one, a better one. Right, who was the third one then?
Third one was Carolyn.
Carolyn. All right, she's in leather, isn't she? Yes.
She is with studs.
37-year-old Minnesota native and drug counselor appeared on Survivor Series 44. How was their 44 series?
Pardon? 44th series of Survivor. They must do 2 a year.
Must do fucking 5 a year or something.
No, they must do 2 a year. They must do like an autumn season and a spring season, I guess.
Plus the spin-offs.
Plus the spin-off, yeah. Reindeer
Survivor
Games.
Island, Survivor Reindeer.
Survivor Santa series.
A previous drug addict herself, she told Parade magazine in 2023 that her difficult road to recovery prepared her perfectly for Survivor. Well, what's that got to do with the traitors? Independent.
Nothing at all.
UK.
Nothing at all independent.
What's prepared her for the traitors?
Survivor.
Being on Survivor.
Yeah.
Because it's the same show.
It's the same show.
In the US, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, so there you go. That's the little bit that we know about the three
I feel like I've
traitors.
learned nothing. But at least we
Drug
know.
counsellor.
At least, yes, that's true, and it makes me respect Carolyn a lot
Danielle
more.
was on series 3 of Big Brother. Does that mean Brittany was on series 3? Because when they were crying and they were like, "You really upset me that day."
She said it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I was thinking, well, how long ago was this? And do you think you should go over it now?
Well,
Because
Brittany
it's like
said
25 years ago.
She said she forgives her, but not forgotten. Mm-hmm. But she did. They said it was a long, long time ago. I
She
mean,
won't
if it was
murder
serious,
her though, will she? Being a traitor now? Because if I murder it, make it obvious.
It makes
So
it too
Brittany's in it
obvious.
for a while, and so's Tony and Jeremy probably.
well, unless they get. I mean, the way things are going at the moment, I feel like there's a certain other franchise that's in a lot of danger. To be honest with you,
This made me happy when this game happened.
yes.
When
So
the rowing mission happened.
it's the same game we had before in the UK series. That's the only mention I'll make of it. Let's just say it was a shambles in the UK, an absolute shambles.
Well, this was nearly shambles. They nearly went back up at the beach.
There was a lot more sacrifice, though. A lot more people were more willing to get off the pontoon to help
Still
the
begrudgingly.
greater game. yes, true. But I feel like
But I liked the outcome.
the outcome was
because
fine.
There's
Yes.
a lot of housewives here. How many is there this series? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 housewives and some selling sunsets, which are kind of the same thing.
Well, I think that means that I think all 4 of the was it all 4? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it was. All 4
of the Real Housewives got
Yeah.
off.
Good.
And they're already talking. They're already saying that like they're going to be a team. They're going to team up again. Have you noticed that? They're already talking like they're one unit. So
If the housewives go, then I'm more than happy because they are always the worst players and the most less needed to be there.
Well, unfortunate for them, they got off the pontoon, which means that they are up for murder because
yes.
anyone who stayed on the boat and then went into the ring of fire were automatically given the shield. Also unfortunate for them, they think that they've got 8 people who are up for murder, but in actual fact it's 6 because 2 of them were actually traitors.
Yes.
They were both on the same pontoon, and God, it made me laugh that they were acting that they didn't know, they were pretending that each other wasn't a traitor. Yeah. Bob the drag queen and Danielle were both on the pontoon together and they were pretending 100% that they were faithful. Who do you think the faithful is? I don't know. I've got a few suspicions. Yeah, so do I. Do you reckon it's that? Yeah, maybe. And then when they met each other at the turret, you could just see that they're absolute like...
And they were happy because
Amazement.
their acting skills were good and both neither of them suspected each other. So yeah, it's all good. But Carolyn stayed on the boat. She was getting her shield.
There was a cry for misogyny already, episode 1 on the American series.
Well, looking at these lot on this bottom row that I've got here, I'm not surprised.
Well, all the men.
All these men, yeah.
Very alpha, aren't they?
All these muscle men. God.
Alpha, so I should say. Yes, there was a huge cry out of foul by Bob the drag queen, and then later on Bob and Bob again about how the females are the ones sacrificing themselves, and none of the men are doing it.
And the men are just like, well, we need to. Men strong.
Well, that was their reason. They basically said that they needed more men on the boat because they could then row faster, and then sacrificed. Almost went against their own theory by sacrificing the final pontoon because they decided that they didn't have enough time. But also, Tony said, well, is anyone else willing to sacrifice themselves onto the pontoon? No one said yes. So they all then went back.
They had 40 minutes left. And then later on, when Bob asked them how much time do you have left, they're like, 20.
Yes, I know they lied. They fair-based lied into Bob's face.
Yeah, they had 40 minutes left and they still had 20,000 they could have gotten.
Plenty of time. So they only earned £20,000 for the prize pot. So half of what they could have earned on this game. Sorry, dollars. We're in America now, aren't we?
Although it's filmed in Scotland, so it should be...
Euros.
No.
Split the difference.
It should be Scottish pounds.
I'm going to have to learn Euros for the Irish series.
Oh, God.
I know. It's going to go wrong. So I have to say that was already, you could, why does it happen?
Like, you need to kill these white men.
Why? Oh, it did annoy me that these men weren't willing to kind of
and the men that got off
step
were
off the boat.
Bob and Bob, gay men.
The 2 gay guys.
And then Sam joined in as well, Brittany's ex, who, because he's Brittany's ex, he's part of it.
Yeah, because she's a gay icon. So Sam by association is
he the personal trainer one who was her boyfriend for ages and like used to film her in green screen places? Is that the same one, that conspiracy theory?
I have no idea. I have no idea. So what people were saying, because
people were saying like he was like part of it and like he just had a green screen in his house and made her do things in front of the green screen and put the mansion in the background, and people were like, if you look in her reflection of her sunglasses you can see him standing there. And
also probably a lamp, a light as well.
I don't know if that's the same guy, I'm not sure. Let me know please, everyone.
I've just got this image now of, that scene in Wayne's World when like they're going, wow, we're in Philadelphia, and they're kind of like putting postcards like on this green screen behind them. It just thing that Britney Spears was doing.
I don't know who it was, but annoyed me a bit when someone said, "Oh yeah, he's Britney's ex," and one of the I don't know who it was, but she was like, really, Britney?" It's like, pardon?
No, that was brought up.
Have some respect for Miss Spears, please.
Because Tom. Hang on a minute. No, the pop rules. Sorry, my bad. Tom dated. Oh no, Tom was the one who dated. Someone.
Chriselle's friend.
Chriselle's friend, Ariana.
I thought
that's
she was about Ariana Grande, and then I don't think it is. She was like, I'm friends with Ariana. I was like, sorry, Ariana Grande? But no, it's someone who was on whatever he's on
his reality show.
Vanderpump Rules. What's that?
That's an MTV show.
Sounds like a show about trainers.
No, it's a bit like Chelsea Shore, isn't it? Chelsea Shore? That's the UK version. Jersey Shore.
Don't know.
Isn't it? I think it's a bit like that. So there's lots of sex and parties.
Yeah, because he was the one who said, "Oh, Chriselle's a traitor." The second they stood up from the banishment.
Well, Tom ripped off his blindfold and started looking around and trying to find someone to see. And he immediately said Chriselle.
Because she said something to Tony, didn't she? She's like, "Oh, we need all your investigative skills now to try and find one."
Well, that was another thing.
They found that suspicious.
They found that suspicious as well. But then Dylan kind of told Chriselle, because Dylan's a little snitch, and Chriselle was
Zac Efron's brother.
Yes, everyone. And Chriselle was immediately like, well, he would accuse me because I'm best friends with his ex. And
Ariana.
Ariana.
First name only.
So he's got a grudge on me. And I mean, this is the only thing that tainted this episode. Up until the whole episode, I have to say, it was a gold standard episode of The Traitors. Yeah. Very good episode. As soon as Chriselle started using things that happened outside the castle, other than on another reality show, I started thinking that's got nothing to do with the game.
It's the Marvel Universe thing again, isn't it? It's that thing where it's like, you really need to do your history lessons on this if you're going to gather everything you need.
Yes.
But I'm not going to do that. So, to me, Ariana Grande is her friend in my life.
I thought that's who she meant, actually. But I guess no, it can't be, as you say, because it's a reality show.
No way Ariana Grande dated Tom from Vanderpump Rules.
Get in touch, let us know. faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com.
Tom's promo photo looks good. I don't know if he looks like that on the show. He looks like Wells on the show, so it just confuses
Which
me.
one's the one I said looked like Danny Zuko from Bloomin' Grease? Was it Sam?
That was Sam, I think, wasn't it? I don't know.
Was he the one who had the gratuitous shower scene as well?
Yes, because he's up for murder. He was in the shower.
He's not up for murder. No one's up for murder. Oh, I suppose, yes, he is up for murder.
He is?
Yeah, but they've not officially said who they're choosing yet.
No, but it's those lot, because there's only a handful left. But
I love those scenes.
Chriselle had the eyes on her basically first, and that was all coming from... Was it coming from Tom or was it coming from Wells?
No, 100% Tom.
Okay.
Wells.
I need Tom or Wells to be murdered really quickly.
Wells also was very vocal this episode because he said that the people getting off onto the pontoons are all suspicious of being traitors. So he believes there are 8 traitors out there.
No, just potential.
No, that's yeah. So that was his theory. But after the game, and everyone went back, and the ones who weren't on the pontoons were eating food, not waiting for the ones to come back to eat.
Loads of food.
I have to be honest, if the production staff are putting the food out, you're not going to wait. You're going to eat it while it's warm,
you don't know
aren't
what
you?
You're doing back on your car. Could have a McDonald's sponsorship for all we know.
Hello, New Zealand. How are you?
Don't get that on the US Traitors, do you? Open the van door and see Happy Meals on your seat.
Alan saying, you'll get a delicious McDonald's on your way home. And so Bob mouthed off to everyone saying, was it really worth missing the extra £20,000? Bob was a bit vocal, but do you know who was very vocal? My absolute favourite character so far in the series, Dorinda. Dorinda.
She was
I have no agenda.
She's another housewife. I don't watch Housewives. No, I don't know anything about these women, but she did feel like she'd had bottles of wine. There's no evidence of
on
this.
The pontoon.
She was drinking the pontoon water, the lock water.
This is alcoholic enough. It's Scottish. I'm sure there's some whiskey in here somewhere.
It's like her bits the camera. She was like, I don't know. She had really rosy cheeks and like a red nose, and she was sort of swaying about.
How dare you accuse Dorinda of being an alcoholic?
I'm not saying alcoholic. I'm saying she had a few bottles of wine.
An alcoholic.
Instead of her, because there's no food left, she was like, fine, pop.
Well, no, that's the problem, because there wasn't much food left. It wasn't like,
nothing to absorb.
Absorbing her alcoholism.
Yeah, so she was really angry.
Sorry, she's not an alcoholic.
No.
God, we didn't do our disclaimer at the top of the episode. Everything we say is based on what we see on the traitors. It's not personal opinion against them.
But I then, because it's the US traitors and the celebrities,
Nah.
Fair game. Zac Efron's brother.
That's true. They should come to expect it.
Yeah, they're used to it by now. But yeah, she was really angry, and all the housewives were all pissed off basically because they're the ones who got off the pontoon and no one else did.
But
the men didn't.
Apart from 2, the gays, Bob and Bob. Bob the gays.
Yeah, well. That's what you love.
Bob and Bob were bobbing in the lock.
But there's I've got in front of me. I've got a sheet of all the names, and there's one row of people which are all lined up together, and I can already see things happening, which I don't like.
The bros. Are we having another series of bros?
I don't know.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think that's going to happen because I think the guys are so self-absorbed. I don't think they're those kind of bro-y type guys. Do you know what I mean?
It did make me laugh when they were talking to Alan, like, can I be a traitor or faithful? And Caroline was like, oh yeah, I'll be a traitor. What do I have to do? Beg? And he was like, don't beg. And then they cut to Tony on his knees begging and he didn't get chosen. It's like, haha.
And then he got really upset because he wasn't chosen.
Yeah,
He's like, well, I suppose I have to be a faithful then.
Yeah, good.
Tony is already getting a bit unliked by the group as well, isn't he? They feel like that he's kind of taking charge without anyone nominating him to be the leader. Like
I can see him getting voted off.
I can see him getting voted off quite early on as well, to be honest with you. He's almost like a stereotype character in the Traitors. He's in it for about 1 or 2 episodes, but people get a bit peed off because they feel like he's got too loud a voice within the game.
He's got to be a traitor. He will be banished, I think, rather than murdered. It's my opinion. But there you go. Well, so early favourites then.
Early favourites. The Traitors got to meet each other in the Torah. I thought that we were going to see the murder, but we weren't.
There's no banishment either. It's just
no. Off we went into the forest again. Alan started talking in riddles. He likes his riddles, does Alan? This is his Oscar-worthy performance. Yeah, Oscar-worthy. And he brought back Rob. Was it Dallas Rob? Boston Rob.
Boston Rob. Sandwich.
And Alan said because of their choice to not bring him into the game, it's actually turned the game they're playing into a whole new game. It's not at all. They would have done this either way, because if Rob had gone in, then the person who would have gone out would have been ended up doing this as well.
Because they didn't invite him in, he's now coming in as a traitor if he gets in.
That's a change. That's true.
The change.
So they're locking him and 2 others up in a cage. We don't know who the 2 others are. I have my suspicions, but I don't want to say them just yet. And it's a bit of it's not a steal from the UK version. It's just that the UK version did it as well, but they did it with the 3 passengers.
We're going to have this the whole series.
This happens every series, I'm afraid.
The UK version, because they film at the same time.
Yeah, because they cross over. They tend to do the same game. Like the game they played was the same game they played in the UK.
They reused the props,
and so we actually know what the twist is with this game. If you were an American watcher and you weren't watching the UK series, you obviously wouldn't know, but we do know. Basically, they're going to put 3 people in cages, and then the players have to choose who they want to bring down from the cage.
But you don't know that. You've not even seen it yet.
I guarantee that will be what it is.
It could be a twist.
But I think the difference will be instead of 2 players, they're only going to choose 1. That's the only difference.
Rob.
But I'm presuming it's going to be Boston Rob, or whatever his name is, the sandwich from Subway. He's missing a trick there, to be fair.
I feel that's a disadvantage, though, for him to come in as a traitor, because they already don't like him because they didn't pick him to come in the game anyway. So they're just going to vote him out because he wasn't one of the originals.
Yes.
And then he'll say, I'm a traitor, and it'll be like, well...
I concur.
So I feel if he does get through, I feel he'll be banished that same day.
I agree.
Or the next episode if he's not allowed to be banished.
Unless he can make a convincing argument that he being in the game would be used to everyone.
Yeah, but he's already done his argument and he didn't shake his hand. So.
Yeah, and then got a bit crabby about it, didn't he? His little face when he didn't get chosen, like a child who lost his toy on the playground.
So before we go, then who do you think is going to get murdered? Because we've got who's up for it.
So we got Robin, Chanel, Ayan. She's from the Real Housewives of Dubai.
Yeah.
But we've got her name as Chanel.
She's got this as well. She's got the coveted. I haven't used it yet, but I'm going to use it now.
Do it.
I was literally peeing my pants.
She's got the first soundbite of the series.
Good for her.
So there you go.
We love you, Ayan.
So if she's murdered...
Sorry, Ayan. Robin, Ayan, Dolores, Dorinda. Better not be Dorinda, I'm telling you. Bob the Drag Queen and Danielle were on the pontoons, but they're traitors, so they're not part of it. Bob Biggest Loser, and Sam.
Sam in the shower.
I think it will be a woman.
Do you not think they'll want to get rid of a man because they hate the men from the mission? And it's Danielle, Caroline, and Bob making the decision?
Yeah, but then I think...
it would have to be Bob or Sam then, wouldn't it?
I don't think it will be Bob because Bob was on their team, so it will be Sam. If that's the theory you're going with.
No, they'll be like, we need him for the missions because he's got biceps.
Bob? He's a fitness trainer.
Oh, yeah. Forgot. Well, so Sam. They're both fitness trainers. Oh, have to be a woman,
Sam's
then.
from what? Britney's
Yeah, I'm sure if he's the one I'm thinking about, the one with the sunglasses and the green screen and the keeping Britney Spears captive, then he's also a personal trainer.
The only Britney ex I know is the one who is her dancing partner.
Kevin
Federline.
Federline. He's just lost his income support because the kids turned 16, so he's gone. He's got no money now.
He was getting
he was getting 60,000.
Why was he getting the money? Surely the children get the money.
Well, he was getting it to then give to the children,
but he wasn't giving it to the children.
Well, obviously not. He was getting like 80,000 a week.
Well, then he needs to do series 4 with the Traitors.
Yeah, he does. That's why Sam's on it.
Every series they should have an X for Britney Spears on there.
Need the money. Need the money. So, it's going to be one of the housewives, which is fun.
It has to be a housewife then, yeah. So
well, probably Robin or Dolores, because I can't remember them being on the show.
I think it's going to be Ian. I do, because I think
like
that
her, she's funny.
She's like the one that they don't know. And it tends to be the one they don't know early on. Until they get to know them, they go out.
She was funny though.
I like Ian too. She's great. And she's bought a suitcase full of dresses that she needs every opportunity to wear.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
When she gets murdered, do you think she'll just do like lots of changes? Like every shot will be her in a different dress? Yeah. So yes.
Okay, so one of the housewives. We don't know which one.
One of the housewives, we reckon. That's our theory.
We'll find out soon.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Binged it.
I am looking forward to this series. Normally, we're both a bit down on the US series, but genuinely, I think this series is
I am.
I was literally peeing my pants.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I was peeing my pants because it's so good. So.
I thought you were going to do a sound clip of who's the WWE star? Because that moment when they were having their dinner, she was
Nikki.
She was like, I really don't know. And I thought, oh, Nikki, come on now.
I know you thought she was a housewife.
I did.
She was a WWE.
But the way she was
star.
talking, that gravelly teenage girl voice, I don't know. Shut up. Be quiet.
Right. So if people are binging this, you can get in touch with us. Obviously, you probably won't get anything read out or said until episode 6. Just so you know.
But don't forget, if you are binging this, you can go straight to episode 2 right now and enjoy more of our...
Or episode 3.
Delicious voices. So go to faithfultotraitors@gmail.com if you want to send us an email. You can find us on YouTube if you're listening. If you want to watch the YouTube, goodness me. If you want to watch us in video form, go to YouTube and search Faithful to Traitors Podcast, where you can comment underneath the video, like, subscribe, ring the bell. And also you can subscribe to us on any of your favourite podcast apps as well. Find us on X @Traitors Podcast, Instagram @Faithful to the Traitors. If you like the podcast, don't forget to share us with your friends, share us on your social media, and you can also help the podcast by going to buymeacoffee.com/faithful.
Yes, and you get a guaranteed message read out no matter how mean it is.
Spot on.
So we can't be mean because we have to respect the cast, but you guys say what you want.
Despite calling someone an alcoholic.
Two of them. One is actually a drug rehab person, but
no, we never called her. You just said she was like Courtney Love and
no, that's true. Amy Winehouse
and
Ashley Simpson,
a former addict.
Anyway, so we'll see you for episode 2 very shortly. But until then, stay faithful.